Okay, this is a matchup that we've been getting a lot of questions on, so figured might as well just do it and have the conversation about how do you fight Eno. This is going to be specific to Geo, but some of the stuff, particularly on the defense side, will still hold true. So this is against JujoMito. He's a really strong Eno player, and he adapts very fast, and he also has some very particular defensive habits that I think are hard for players to deal with if they have not kind of labbed out or thought about how to really beat it. Um, Probably the most important thing to understand about the fight is that Eno is an RPS character, and there are ways that you can mitigate that RPS, but at its core, her kit, both offensively and defensively, is designed to make you guess. And if you don't have an option that will cover, and I'm getting kind of smoked here, if you don't have an option that will cover, both hover dash like that and and stroke, then you are going to have to play some of that rock paper scissors game that people have a lot of difficulty with. One of the things you can do that's very strong and important is to make sure that at the layer one that you are option selecting, oh wow, I believed in this round, huh? That you are, but I did get the burst, so that's pretty totally worth it for me. And this is actually a win condition. Um, so yeah, this is something that Chucho does a lot. He FDs into 6P kind of a lot, and it's a very strong option. But you saw there, that's one of the ways to beat it is if you're going to be doing FD into 6P, you don't really want to do it at the start of a string. You want to do it towards the middle or the end after you've pushed them pretty far away, and you'll see a lot of my offense is kind of tailored to beat that. There's the 2K check just to keep him honest there, keep him from stroking in behind me. And here it's just, you have to play the game. And, because she is an RPS character, a lot of her game is honestly, it was backdash there. A lot of her game is honestly just about Marvel rules. It's determining, it's basically don't be there is the answer to that question. If you get knocked down, you don't have to bet the world because doesn't do a ton of damage, but you do need to understand that you getting knocked down is her win condition, and ideally you just don't want to be there. So there's round start RPS, which I lost, double overhead. And you see me do the FD there because I just want to get Jujo out of a space where he can like threaten really, really close pressure reset options. The dash DP, that's something that you do to very nice air throw to try and keep, from hover dashing. He did that. Empty jump into super. Okay. Uh, should be my turn now. But and there it is right there. And you see I messed it up and I was actually mad that I missed the punish there. Ooh, and I dropped my super. I'm not doing so well right now. So that's a full disclosure thing. Is this set was honestly very spaghetti from an input perspective. So I'm just going to try and talk about some of the key concepts. Let's see what this round start is. Backdash just to stay safe. 6P is very important that you're able to check, with that when she tries to dash at you. You need to be able to do it, or else you're going to have a bad time. And after 214K, playing a little bit of an RPS, one of the things that you'll see a lot in this set, to be honest, is I challenge a lot with, saw the command grab super coming there. I challenge a lot with, that was supposed to be a 2S. That was also supposed to be a 2S. I challenge a lot with DP after 214K, just because, like I said, Eno is an RPS character. And one of the things that you have to do with a character like that is you have to skew the risk reward towards certain options. And one of the ways you do that is by making it so that if she, wow, I dropped that. Is one of the ways you do that is by making sure that if she ever guesses wrong, that you explode her. That was heavy, so I have to hold it. Hold it again. FD him out again just to get him out of that space. And you'll see I'm going through my Gatlings very quickly because that's the number one way to kind of catch someone doing like an FD 60 mash. You can also wait out the 6P. That's another solid option. And if he gets hit, he's going to explode. So good defense on his part. And really the answer there for that note is just to, that's going to hurt. Ooh, unless I drop it. Um, Air throw, yeah. So yeah, one of the Whew, I had probably tried to 6P there, but Eno's pretty fast on our hover dash, so I wasn't going to win that. That was supposed to be a 2S, and this should be game. Not game, maybe, actually. Yeah, he's still alive. But yeah, so you kind of have to challenge like 6P there again. You have to show him that he can't do that thing that he wants to do. He was trying to bait my burst there. Fuzzy mash after the 2K just to try and keep him honest. And it's something that you don't really like to do, but you have to do it to, in a lot of situations, because you need her to go for more committal options. You can't let her get away with rejumps and things like that. Um, nice DP anti-air there, and there's the first DP after my 214K. But the important thing there is I was completely wrong, and the punish for it was very small. And that tends to be the case in this matchup. If you're right, you counter hit DP, and she explodes. If you're wrong, maybe you eat a single hit into knockdown, or maybe you trade with stroke or something like that. He might be dead. He should have been dead, but he's dead now. Yeah, like I said, this set was very spaghetti in terms of my inputs, but I'm hoping that across these matches, and there's a lot of them, we played a bunch and I recorded the first 20. I'm hoping that you can get an understanding. Again, 6P, extremely important that doesn't feel comfortable just hover dashing at you. You need to be able to shut that down at the level one. It was a nice FD into 6P again, and you saw me go through my Gatling pretty quickly. But in some situations, you just have to let it rock and let the actually whiff the button, or any character really. You can't challenge it at certain ranges and spacing, so you just kind of got to let it rock. There's Jizzy 6P there, huh? Yeah, Jujo is pretty unconditionable, which can be really frustrating, but again, the options that are available to both of us, the things that he's doing cost him a lot more damage in general than the things that you want to do, the things that I'm doing. That didn't look real, so wake up with throw. And again, just staggering the pressure to try and catch the 6P. And I'll probably change up the way that I'm handling that note in a bit here, because you don't want to give her the opportunity to just like throw it out at range like that. And again, because Jujo will block, he'll block into FD, but he will block to start with. Not a bad idea at all to use Geo's speed to just run in and dash and throw him after the fact. And we'll see what the round start RPS here is. And 214K, that will beat stroke. And if he tries to like air dash at you. And one of the things you see is you see me micro dashing my pressure a lot. And again, there's that DP after the 214K. That RPS is perfectly fine for me. Like, he hit me with stroke, we traded, it's back into neutral. Like, I get pressure off of that. Um, and that's what you want to do, kind of. You want to force the to go for bigger commits than you have to, because she's annoying, but she doesn't do a ton of damage. Generally speaking, like, she might, her win condition is to knock you down, but like, she does have to knock you down a fair number of times, and that's not true for a lot of other characters in the game. And again, just modifying the pressure to say, okay, if you want a 6P here, you can. It will beat my 5H, but I don't have to 5H there. I can do a 2D, or I can just wait, let the 6P whiff, and didn't block that, knock it down because I don't want to give him the win condition. I'll probably, yeah, don't want to be in that situation. And forced him to spend his burst, so that's good for me. Another defensive 6P, but again, it's not fun, but you can beat that. And that's the way to handle note up close, actually, like that. I had been jumping back, but really just swing into it. The shorter amount of time that note is on the screen, the less hits it has, so I could just swing at her and then swing at her again, and that's perfectly fine. Empty jump into throw, and now, like I said, the goal here is really don't let play, because you've seen me be on defense, and I'm not terrible on defense against but you just don't want to be there, because eventually you're going to get hit. The micro dash pressure catches the back dash as well. That's a pretty good trade for me. Plus frame, so I'll block. And here's a 50-50. Don't want to be in this situation. And see if I can defend. And there's the rejump. delayed fuzzy jab that's done at a timing that will block 2K and block 6H, and then just straight out and out smoke the rejump. That's something that you do need to lab out if you're going to be fighting we just did that from mad far away. I want the corner, so I'll do that. I'll burst and keep it, but wound up losing the corner anyway, but it's okay. And now the goal again is just don't let him play. So trying to trying to kill him right here. And if he doesn't burst this, he's dead. He did burst it. And now it's just a one-touch game, right? Trade was okay for me. Wow, he's 6 speed there. And you see another kind of delayed pressure string. After S stroke does have the option to RPS there as well. Jujo likes the 6P in that situation because it will beat my heavy slash, which I use to catch backdashes. But um, again, he's going to die if he's wrong, and I've got some life to play with. So just accept that you're going to have to play a bit of RPS and be okay with it. Understand why you're doing it, and make sure that the reward, as much as possible, is always within your favor. And again, you see me just dash buttoning into him because I tried to DP. You see me just trying to dash button into him because I need to be close to him. Can't let him do that. Exactly, that's the situation that you don't want. And even on a fast cancel, sometimes, like if enough of the multi kicks come out, he's dead. That was not safe jump. Um, if you see someone, if the FD manages to catch a lot of the multi kicks, your heavy slash will lose. So you need to try and manage that as much as possible. Keep him out of the air. Keep him honest. Don't let rejumps happen. And block low. And I swung at him because, yeah, that should have been punishable, but I needed a dash to catch it. That was a good empty throw. And again, I'm I'm OSing my jabs and just trying to block the strike. And if he goes into a button, and again, you see me just resetting pressure with dashes. But yeah, he might be not dead, but this is now a one-touch game, and this is what I mean. Like, you don't have to be right that many times if you're playing the RPS properly, right? Um, that was a fantastic air throw. And wow, he believed I wouldn't super, and he was right. But that's the thing, right? Is if he's right, unless Eno tags you with something like a counter hit 6H, she doesn't do a ton of damage. So it's okay to get knocked down, even though you don't want to be in this situation. You just want to make sure that you are maintaining enough pressure so that when they do something like that and try and poke out of a bad situation, that they eat 50%. Like, doesn't have a lot of life, so that's something you can just kind of abuse her on. Is just skewing the risk reward heavily so that, yeah, she can play rock, paper, scissors if she wants to, but if she throws paper and you throw scissors, you want her to explode. Missed my pickup there, but it can be a pickup. And again, I'm just, you see me resetting pressure and using micro dashes to stay in. I want to stay in because I want to be able to punish things and do extreme damage anytime that I touch her. And now this is a one-touch game, but he got hit on the backdash, and I was going for a different setup, but he's still dead. And that's the thing, right? Is I'm beating Jujo generally off of 3, maybe 4 touches. That's unfortunate. Him, he probably has to open me up unless I'm eating rejumps or I'm eating counter hit 6Hs. That's what the bait there was for. He has to hit me 7 or 8 times, even as Geo, who's not a high, guts character. And now he started respecting my pressure. I want corner. It was a good escape there. And I woke up probably trying to 6P, and rejumps wasn't fuzzy mashing there. Jujo and I have played a billion matches at this point, and the last time we played, he hit me with a lot of double overheads. So you want to use the defensive OS to stop the layer 1, but once they start using the layer 2, you will want to not be mashing that delayed jab. So that's kind of what I was going for there. There's the backdash after my 214K. And again, DP in that situation, I don't do it because I expect to get a counter hit every time. I do it because I don't want him. Is he going to get the burst? Yes, he is. I don't want him to be able to go for the same option every time. So after I start DPing and he starts punishing me with his 2K, which does give him a knockdown into his win condition, or he starts, you know, just or starts using stroke or something like that. Like I do it so that he'll begin using 2K and then I can just backdash out of the situation. Um, so it's just trying to shift the RPS in my favor so that I don't have to hold his pressure because I don't want to have to block anything from Eno if I can help it. I want to always be in neutral. I want to anytime 214K doesn't hit, I want the reset. So you'll see me backdash after 214K after I've feel like I have made enough of an impact for him to actually respect me there. Jujo's a good player and he's pretty darn stubborn, so a bunch of times he'll stroke after me or air dash after me and hit me anyway. But it's a threat that has to be represented. You did see I tried to use the delayed mash to catch the rejump, but he was a little bit too far away. And 6P in neutral because why not? Double overhead, that's okay. It's a knockdown, it sucks. Gets him access and another rejump. I need to start delay mashing there. And that was a good empty throw. But you see, like, even though she has to hit you a bunch of times, she is pretty well equipped to do it. So as much as possible, you don't want to give her the chance. And you see me now jabbing on his plus frames because he's been hitting me with rejumps. And that's something that you have to do. Backdash 6P. You don't always have to challenge 6P, right? That's the thing. And I stopped because, yep, was expecting the RC there, but didn't get it. So I just get a counter hit. And I'm micro dashing and delaying and things because I'm giving him an opportunity to represent that super. And if he doesn't give it to me, that's fine. If he's going to respect me that way. But yeah, you don't want to just swing into bad situations. So give him those kind of micro frame traps. If he wants the 6P, decent chance my delayed micro dash 2S will beat it clean. And you just want to stick to the Eno like glue. And there's a situation where it trades, but that's okay. 6P there, trading with stroke is pretty lucky. And you see everything that I'm doing has a dash in front of it because again, I need to be close to Eno and I'll probably burst, yeah. And there's a jump back after 214K. And then just dash in, and now he's got to deal with me, which he does by getting a freaking gold burst. But still a pretty decent situation for me, to be honest, and probably should have respected it there, but I didn't, and I'm super dead here. That's yeah, reversal super to reversal super. Not a great use of meter on my part. Probably should have used the implied threat there to just run up and throw him or something like that. Not a great round start for me. Just got bounced like a basketball. And that setup looked delayed, so mash throw. And again, you see me cycle through the Gatling very quickly because I'm trying to catch him either moving or using like a 6P or something like that. Ooh, got me with a shimmy. I don't defensively throw tech very often, so that's very good on Jujo's part. And again, look how many times he had to hit me. Ooh, that was a nice burst bait. But like I'm dead. Super lost that round, but like I lost it because I made a lot of wrong decisions. Um, and that's just kind of what you have to remember is it's okay to roll the dice with, in a lot of these situations because her dice rolls are not highly damaging for the most part. Make sure that you're not that's why you want to get the timing down for your delayed mash because if you eat like a counter hit 6H, you will explode. But so long as you're not getting hit with that, another delayed mash to catch the rejump. So long as you're not getting hit with that huge stuff, very nice 6P. As long as you're not getting hit with the really big stuff, it's okay. Like it's fine. I was trying to dash forward and throw, and I just mucked it up because again my inputs were bad. And you see me just staggering, trying to catch that, didn't quite get it. That was a good reversal super. And to be honest, a lot of characters get conversions off of jab anti-airs, and Geo is one of them, and I'm just not doing it. But the proper punish there when you catch a rejump is jab into K into target combo. And you get a hard knockdown and good damage. If you've got meter, you can actually super and take like a quarter of her life, like minimum. Um, so you again that skews the oh you got hit with that, huh? that skews the damage in your favor again, right? If Ino has to risk taking a quarter of her life to rejump, then that makes it very scary for her. And that begins to funnel her options in ways that are useful to you because the level of it shuts down the level of resets that she can attempt on you because the resets will do good damage very quickly. Tried to burst bait, don't want to give it to him, and just jabbing, just trying to catch him coming in. And it's okay that I didn't get it. I didn't really take very much damage, right? And he should burst, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely dead if he didn't burst. And there's another whiffed 2S or messed up 2S. That setup didn't look real, so we throw and take the round. And again, you notice that combo is a forward moving combo. Even if he FD'd, I still would have been in his face. And that's the place that you want to be. When people are using FD a lot, give yourself the dash momentum if that's what you need to do. Do whatever you need to. Again, that it trades and we're back at neutral. That's perfectly fine with me. Burst because he didn't want to be in that situation. He considers the knockdown my win condition. That was me trying to 6P. I don't really want to let hover dash at me, so a lot of times I will challenge it just like there. This is gonna clash. And that's bad on me because I actually could have canceled the super into the on that clash. So that's my fault for not doing that. Decently, it's an okay pickup. I could have done better. And I'll probably, yep, DP and back to neutral. And again, like that's super okay for me, right? We're back at neutral. He doesn't get plus frames on me. If he 2Ks, okay, that's not great, but he's going to have to go for, non-committal options or he's playing, he's rolling dice on a much higher damage situation. Same as there. That's the FD into 6P. And like you can see, cycling quickly doesn't always work, but when it does, that's a counter hit 5H. Can't survive very many of those. And you see me just keep on swinging at him, and Jujo respects it this time, so that's a nice adaptation on his part. And now I do have to block. Or I don't, I guess. I could just super. Blocking is for wimps. And I was gonna get I was scared about getting anti-air there, and there's the rejump. Wasn't mashing. Ooh, and just ate that. That was probably an FD mistake, actually. And there's catching the rejump again. And the dives are okay. Like, if he wants to dive at me, like, that's a pretty dangerous option, right? Um, it can be frustrating to play against, right? Because you feel like, oh man, she's just zooming across the screen and I have to deal with it. But like, okay, like he's negative if it misses. Okay, that's part of the round start RPS 214K. Beats stroke, loses heart to 6P and 2H as well. And now I'm in the corner and I have no burst, so this is just a bad situation. This round is probably a wash. So right now at this point I'm more playing to try and get my burst back than playing to win. So I will just try and block. Very good empty throw. Once he RC's there, that's just a bad situation. Like it's a 50-50 and you just have to guess. The jump there you saw, my turn, but he respected it and did get out of the situation. And now again, just again trying to keep the pressure on, make sure that continues to have to deal with you no matter how much she wants to FD you out. Micro dash back in and stay as close as possible and do it again. So like again, to a certain extent, you can kind of rely on just, I've got a win condition when I knock you down too, and the 6P stuff can be annoying, but it's very beatable. And again, if Eno's wrong, she eats that kind of damage. Like that's not tenable long term, right? That's not something that she can reliably do. She just ate 50% for trying to get a single knockdown. And he was still in block stun. Right idea. And I just don't want to be in this situation. I don't want to give up any life, so move in. Oh no, my 2D was too late. That's unfortunate. And I really just want to get out of the corner, but didn't, force it too much. Gets caught because he was trying to do something there. And again, that's the reason why we cycle through the Gatlings quickly. It catches because Geos 2S hits twice, it will catch people trying to fuzzy jump. It will catch people trying to, FD into 6P and all those kinds of things. There's a lot of ways that you can just kind of muck with, oh, that's going to hurt. So that's one of the hits that you can't take. That's one of the situations I tried to 6P there. That's one of the situations where you can't allow Eno to hit you because you will explode. But well, that's I wasn't ready for that. I think I was like changing music or something when I got hit with the wall splat, and I will just see if I can win this back. Good gold burst. And one of the things you'll see when he gets a gold burst is you will usually see me dash at him, and that's because a lot of Enos when they get full meter, they want to dash at you and then like do an air super and make you hold plus frames. And I dash at her because I'm trying to catch her going for that kind of option because the air version of her super is not invincible. So I just want to punish her if she goes for that. You don't want to give her the space to come at you freely. There's the 6P again. Ooh, and just go straight under. Geo, since they nerfed the hitbox on the Forest, you don't have an option to cover stroke and backdash. I think the 214K will whiff at that range, yeah. You don't have an option to cover stroke and dash in neutral. So that's why I said Eno is her design is RPS. You have to play RPS with her if you can't cover both of the options at once. And that is annoying, but it is manageable, right? Um, and you manage it partially by representing things that do considerably more damage on your end than the converse if Eno hits you. I don't actually like me using 2D in those ranges. I got kind of lucky there. That's something I'll have to adjust for the next round. Stagger pressure. He wasn't FDing at that point, so I can just kind of stick to him like glue. And yeah, that's where 2D is not great, and I'm getting hit for it, so I should definitely make adjustments for that. And that actually was pretty high damage. Jab, fuzzy mash to catch the rejump. That was supposed to be another 2S. And if he gets hit again, he is dead. So he is dead. But yeah, so he's not dead because I'm bad at video games. And there again is the jab on his plus frames because he has been kind of eating me up with that stupid instant overhead after the plus frame heavy stroke. But you see me again challenge there and just say, I would like you to not be uh, hover dashing at me up close. I'm going to make you play honest and go for like true block strings. I'm not making you play honest, so I got opened up by a rejump there. And here's the finally teched it and tried to swing at him. So he started doing delayed heavy stroke around this point in the set, and it obviously goes over my 5H, so it's a pretty solid option there. And there again, you see me just dashing in. Wasn't messed up my juggle there. He should have been dead, to be honest. Good burst because he was dead. I should have RC'd there because he had no option. I was expecting super, and I guess he gave it to me. But yeah, you do have to respect the implied threat of people having supers, at least if they're not afraid to represent them. But yeah, hopefully this is being helpful. I know this fight is interesting because it feels very scrambly in a lot of ways. Don't want to be in the corner against Eno, so burst that. The matchup feels really. He should have been dead. I messed that up. Um, the match can feel really scrambly. That was a quick cancel in on my Gatling because I thought he would 6P, and that's what he did, and then did it again. So again, that's how you catch people who are trying to do stuff in your strings is you just slightly change up the timing on the string by cycling through the Gatling faster or putting a delay that makes them with the 6P or whatever. Like you don't have to give people, this is a bad situation, you don't have to give people the win con that they're looking for. If they want to poke, there's absolutely options to stop that. And now, even though I've lost a lot of life, like this is very much a winnable game for me, right? Because I only need to hit him 3 times. And that's two. The next time I touch him, I will have meter. And what's he going to do? He should be dead now. Ooh, that's a very hard thing to burst, actually. It's so, oh wow, he beat my 6P. I tried to 6P. Um, that's fine though. Like that's a pretty low percentage play. It's okay to lose like that. And sometimes, sometimes you just get smoked. I should have 6P'd there, but I didn't. 6P, yeah. And you see me like a lot of the 6Ps I'm doing are not working, but it's still the right option, I think. And that's something that you have to understand when you're playing, when you're fighting against this type of character, is that like you can make the quote unquote right decision and it not work. I wasn't expecting him to be mashing throw in that situation or fuzzy throwing in that situation because I hadn't gone for the run, or I hadn't gone for the empty jump throw for like 10 games or something. It had been a while. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things where like you don't have to be right all the time. It's okay to do the smart thing and die. Because the smart thing might not work all the time. That I burst because it's high damage. The smart thing might not be super high. You might lose from it, but long term, it's going to be the option that will win you the most games. So it builds. There's 6P again. Don't want him hover dashing at me. Um, that's a good 6P, and that is a way to just beat that particular option clean. Nice 6P again. Finally blocked it and wanted a DP, and all those accidental DPs that I've gotten, and the one time I freaking wanted, I didn't get it. And this is probably a lose situation, yeah. Um, But yeah, like just because Eno is RPS the character doesn't mean that you don't want to play consistently. You want to go for options that are going to give you the highest chance to win in the most situations. And sometimes that play is going to lose, but that's okay. It's more important that you know what that smart play is and that you know why you're going for the thing that you're going for. I'm probably going to dash in at him very soon. Oh, 2K just to check the stroke, do the DP because again, that's a fantastic situation for me. He tried to bait my super, um, and now he's got to play much more honestly than I do, right? And again, like I said, losing to dash, it's or losing to dive is kind of annoying, but that's a pretty low percentage play. Like it's okay to lose to that. Like the next time he does it, decent chance it doesn't work. Um, so play smart and minimize the volatility or minimize the extent to which you will die to volatility, I guess is the way I would describe it. Holding the plus frames, 5H, kind of lucky that I traded there. And I'm going to have to burst here soon. Yeah, nice check. And here just trying to get the one touch that I need, and he should be dead. And there you go again. It's like poker. You are just trying to set up enough high percentage plays where the risk and reward is tuned to your favor to overwhelm the fact that sometimes you get knocked down and you get eno'd. And and that's really what the matchup is about. Goal number one is don't be there. Wow, he's 6 feet there. Goal number one is don't be there. But you can't always not be there. But what you can do is make it so that in a situation like that, hey, he's wrong. He just ate 35%, and now he's going to eat a combo into death because he was wrong twice. The things that I'm wrong on will cost me 10 to 15% of my life because for the most part, I'm not giving him the opportunity to do huge amounts of damage. And there again, you see, ooh, that's going to hurt. Um, there again, you see me just micro dashing so much of my pressure because I want to stay in and I want to punish him for trying to do things. Again, stroke in mid range, not very good. You should check when she does it. Kind of lucky there. I didn't need a gold burst, but hadn't gone for empty throw very often, so thought that it would be a decent bet. And 15 matches. I stopped recording at 20, so not too much further to go. Backdash because it is a safe option at round start for the most part. Nice 6P there to check my drill. double overhead, and I didn't want to be in the corner. And one of the things I tell people a lot is don't burst strays, burst win conditions. Um, but one of the things that I also believe is that's gonna hurt. Okay, it's not. One of the things that I also believe is as much as possible, you should, if you lose a fight, you should have bursted at least twice. I should be dead. So I will try and make sure that I get a burst in the first round if I think that I'm going to lose it or if I think that I need it to win. That should have been a punish. Um, that traded, that's unfortunate. But yeah, burst win conditions. And for Eno, knockdown is her win condition. So it's okay. That's an unfortunate interaction there. Um, so it's okay to burst on a knockdown. Just make sure you don't eat the 6H burst bait. And got stuck there 50-50. Life is hard. Sometimes you just get smoked. And because I bursted in the first round, I get a chance to burst again. Ooh, that's not a good situation. And I'm jabbing again because I want to stop him from overheading me in that situation. And this is probably a bad situation. I don't YRC very often. Wow, he really 6P'd there. I don't YRC very often, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Um, and sometimes it's not enough. Some rounds you just get Eno'd. And it's not fun, but that's life. And again, that 2D does work, but I don't really like that option. 2K after just to keep him honest, keep him from stroking. Tried to 6P there. And yeah, neutral is fine. This right here is why I'm okay with neutral. Fast RC to mix there, which is honestly, it's good on Jujo. I don't like to spend meter opening people up. So the fact that he made me do that is good on him. I'll probably throw. Nope. And yep, it is my turn in that situation. You can't 6P that. The JD hits too low to the ground. I'm pretty plus there. And managed to scramble out of that situation. Probably will burst, yeah. Nice anti-air jab. And this is going to hurt. And there you go. Don't have to be wrong or don't have to be right all that often. That's 2 touches. Ooh, he got me. Good job there on his part. 6P blows through my 5H again because, it'd be like that. And it's okay to lose for him to spin 50 meter there. I'd much rather him spin meter getting me to the corner. There's that 6P RPS after stroke I was talking about. I've got a lot of meter. I'm going to be sad if I die without spending it. That's not really a good use of that, but it does get me in. And he bursts me out immediately, which is not a bad situation, to be honest, because, yeah, even if I lose the round, he doesn't have burst. I do have burst, so I get to play again. And he very likely will not. Ooh, delayed 2K. I like that. And just eat the delayed rejump there. Burst the situation. Don't want to be there. Tried to DP. Ooh, I got it for once. That's pretty rare, actually. DP loses in that situation a lot. And there's the bad inputs I was talking about. This set was kind of spaghetti. But he will survive the knockdown. But yeah, he's definitely not going to get his burst. So I just, so even though I lost the last round, that's okay. I get to, ooh, that's not a good situation though. I get to just be right once. We'll see if I can pull it off. I do get to play neutral. I'm kind of lucky that the wall was damaged there. Now it's a one-touch game for both of us, which is not ideal. And he's got meter to do that 50-50. But he tried to mash in my frame trap, so I will take that game. And yeah, this is kind of the fight, or at least the way that I approach the fight against this particular type of, some of the stuff is universal. That's the JD, the double overhead will beat that fuzzy mash that we've been talking about. But again, it's important because you don't want to die to the level 1. You need to make him respect and have to go for more nuanced pressure. Ooh, if that had been a 2S, I would have won. But looks like I didn't get my down input there. And this is a bad situation. I'm dead. And that right there is why you don't be there. I messed up my 6P trap one time, and sometimes you just get eno'd. 6P, don't let him hover dash at you as much as possible. Ooh, I should not be at that range. Heavy stroke is so slow. It's just an unlikely approach option. The hover dash is much more likely. I should be using 6P there. Ooh, that was kind of gross. I'm gonna gold try. Ooh, I'm not gonna gold burst. So that's a good example actually of this is now a winnable game for me. That's a good example of implied threat. Because I had burst and I was going to die if I did not burst, that means that a burst bait is very likely in that situation. And that gives me the opportunity to just wake up with triple jab into knockdown. And if you're a character who has a DP, that's something that you can do. If you've got 50 meter, that's something you can do. You can force a player to respond to the fact that you might go for an option. And again, the micro dash, I'm trying to stay in. Do not want to give him any type of leeway to push me out. And that's a lot of damage. And there's the burst just to get me off of him. I don't know if I think Jujo probably bursts strays a little bit too much. Maybe he considers like knockdown my win condition the way that I consider it for Eno, but I think that he could probably save his bursts for situations like that where I'm going to explode him. I think that would probably be a wiser use of that resource. Ooh, nice 6P again. Jujo's really checking that on. I think it is reaction, to be honest. There, yeah, it does it again. Maybe not reaction. He does mash a fair amount. And I knew he was gonna burst there, but I can't actually stop him from bursting again. 6P. Do not let people. I messed that combo up, huh? And was blocking again. That's another reason why the micro dash pressure is really strong, is because if they do a reversal or something like that that freezes the screen, you have the opportunity to like FD block, or you don't even have to FD block and strive, to be honest. Um, so just again trying to make sure that your plays are maximum effectiveness for I wasn't going to block whatever was coming, so I just bursted 6P. Yeah. Um, I dropped it because I'm bad. But yeah, again, the option is to just make it a game of you taking as few risks as possible. Oh, that was cursed as heck. You taking as few risks as possible to get a win. He was expecting, looked like he was trying to bait burst. I didn't have it though. Ooh, that was supposed to be 2S. And this is a bad situation. Like I said, you see me dash at him when he has it and he's in the air. And yep, was expecting the super and fade away into jump air throw, because generally speaking, if an Eno is whipping that and you're not going to be in range to hold the plus frame, she's going to like RC forward and try and restart her pressure. So uh, I felt pretty good about that play, but I feel like it's a pretty obvious play when you think about the options that are available to both of us. Either he RCs at me and throws me or something like that. So good double overhead, and it's okay. Like you get hit with the double overhead, but it's not really very much damage, right? Like I'm super dying right now, right? But the point is, like, the double overhead, it gets the knockdown, but it doesn't do a ton of damage. So it's okay for him to start relying on that. Because if he starts over relying on it, you can just kind of punish that pretty hard, to be honest. And I will probably burst the next time I get hit, because I want to, if this goes to round 3, I do want to get the opportunity to get a second burst. But hopefully I can just smoke him and won't need to do it. That's another reason why dashing into people is good, is because it gets you close enough to do things like tick throw into throw. And caught him trying to push a button, so counter hit damage pretty high. I'll take the round, and I do have my burst to the final round. And that's going to be a hard knockdown. That's why I start off with 214K. I've definitely like exploded for it a few times, but you get pretty good reward off of it if it's a counter hit. So that's again like why I go for it. That was a good 6P. Definitely not down on reaction, so that's something that you can take note of for the next time. Got kind of lucky he didn't smoke me for whiffing a 2S like that. Oh, that was cursed. Definitely read the burst and just did not get the punish that I was looking for. And again, just sticking to him like glue, making sure that Um, like you can react to seeing FD. You know if someone's FDing, so you see it and you're just like, okay, I will just change the nature of my pressure slightly, um, and make it so that if you know if you are pushing me out, I'm going to make my way back in, and I'm going to make my way back in representing a low, if at all possible. This is a bad situation. Round's probably over. Don't be there, folks, because you can't block at all. You can't fuzzy mash at all. Like you'll get hit and you'll die. But did spin the burst. Oh no, that sucks. That was supposed to be a 2S again. And I was expecting him to respect me because I've counter hit him so many times in this set, but good on Jujo. He is not conditionable, so just 6Ps and smokes me. And there you go. You don't have to finish the string. I was too far away. 5H was absolutely about to get smoked. That was supposed to be 2S. But yeah, 5H was absolutely about to get smoked there, so I just didn't do it. And that's what happens when that post 214K situation, like the DP lost entirely to the stroke, but that's not the end of the world. Like I take stroke airborne, like okay, that's not very much damage. The knockdown situation isn't terrible. This situation is terrible, but again, you're making plays that are much higher reward for you than they are for the opponent, and that's how you want to play. I thought he was going to jump up and air throw me, and you could see the JK come out. Um, so yeah, like I lost that fight, but I'm pretty okay with a lot of the defensive decisions that I made, to be honest. Um, because again, they're not built around winning every single game. To do that, you'd need to know what the opponent is going to do. I don't know what the opponent is going to do, so instead, I'm structuring my offense and I'm structuring my defense in a way that, oh man, those run up DPs are all supposed to be 2S. So I'm structuring my offense in a way that is supposed to build consistency and give me the greatest chance of winning. Because when it goes well, me going for pretty safe pressure, to be honest, things that will beat a lot of the defensive things that Jujo has represented to this point. Um, it will be mine. And again, dive might be annoying to get hit by. It's not very strong, folks. It's okay if someone's diving all over the place. Like you can beat that for sure. Just be a little bit patient and don't run into it. I definitely thought he was going to cross me up. Did cross me up that time. Hits me overhead. Getting smoked. Life is hard sometimes. That was a nice. He jumped after 2K. That's pretty. That's not a common thing. So I was not ready for it at all. And he didn't quite land that. So I do get to live. And there's the jab check again because he's been dashing at me in a lot of those situations. Ooh, and just misses the anti-air, and that is going to be the set. Um, so again, I hope that that situation or that set was helpful for everyone who watches it. The key takeaways again would be for an opponent who is using FD and 6P a lot, there are answers to it. Cycle your Gatlings faster. Use micro dash pressure to dash, come back in and hit them low. Let the 6P whiff. Defensively against you know, learn how to fuzzy mash. You need to understand the option select to beat rejumps but block JS into 2K or 6H. It's very important. You don't have to do it all the time, but you do need to know how to do it because you do need to be able to say to the hey, you can't just get free resets on me. You need to force them to go for more committal options. And I wasn't showing it here, but make sure that the jab punish is the max damage jab punish because a lot of characters can actually hurt pretty significantly for trying to reset them in that way. Um, and then the final thing I would say is in neutral, like I know we all like fighting game players always want to remove the ability for the opponent to random them out to make them play RPS or to do X, Y, and Z. Um, but it's just not doable, right? They have agency as well, and you have to respect that agency. Um, and that's okay. Just understand that even if you have to play RPS with someone, that doesn't mean that you have to play fair RPS with them. You can choose options that are significant wins for you and low low reward for the opponent. And those are the kind of options that you want to make your opponent guess around, because that will make them hesitate and allow you to get away with kind of safer plays down the line and not have to deal with as much shenanigans. Um, so that was Giovanna versus Eno. I hope that uh, this video is helpful to people who are wondering about some of the ways to deal with it. Some of this stuff is geo-specific, but to be honest, a lot of it is not. A lot of it is just concepts around risk reward and about cycling options. So hope this was helpful, and you guys have a good one. Peace.